Howdy, I'm Repton, and this is Repton Does. Today we're going to pound through some upgrades and research real fast, take a quick tour of what we finished last time, build that Quartz Factory finally, and then it's Commando Time. Curious what Commando Time is? Stick around and enjoy. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button, and I'd love to hear from you as well. Let's get to it.
Milestone reached. The hazmat suit protects the wearer from radiation by consuming iodine-infused filters. You may find this protection essential if you are going to finally get around to saving humanity. I previously gave you compliments in an attempt to inspire you, but it might have given you the wrong idea. I will definitely be totally honest with you from this moment on. Here is a demonstration of a truthful compliment. That suit looks like it was made for you. Because it was. Milestone reached. Several parts more efficient and powerful than the human brain can now be made, to compensate for many deficiencies otherwise encountered in future development efforts. The blender enables you to mix and/or combine parts and fluids for more complex recipes. Most importantly, project part number 6, the assembly director system, should be produced and delivered to the space elevator as soon as possible. Ammunition, only to be used for the defense or acquisition of fixed property. Conveniently, this includes everything of value on this planet. Homing rifle ammo unlocked. This ammo can be loaded into a normal rifle and, when fired, will seek a target. Clarification. This does not make the rifle a homing rifle. If you leave the rifle alone, even when loaded with this ammo, it will not return home like a devoted and adorable puppy and/or kitten. Compacted coal unlocked. It is physically smaller and more powerful, but its carbon footprint remains enormous. This fuel upgrade can be used in coal-powered generators and vehicles. Turbo fuel unlocked. This upgrade to regular fuel is optimal for fuel-powered generators, jetpacks, and fulfilling long-distance trucker fantasies. Pocket dimension inflated by utilizing numinous gel hydrology channeled through an etheric spigot. Some used to say this as impossible, but the meaning of that word has long since been removed from my dictionary.
Alright, now that we got a few upgrades done, which was helpful, now we know what we need to be building next. Before we jump into that, let's take a look at where we left off. So we finished the steel factory, put a few finishing touches on that, closed it in, put the roof on, gave it a little color. I think it probably has some more work to do, but not a bad place to leave it for the moment. We also Took the time while we were over here to get our copper sheet factory running, and our train's coming through there picking up the copper sheets. We do have it producing a little extra copper wire or wire at the moment because we needed it for some things we're building. So we got a roof on it, got some color. Notice I'm using a similar shell for these factories now. We'll have to come up with some new ones at some point, but this is what we're using as our shell for now. Ooh, looks like we left a little hole there in the bottom. We'll have to come back around and fix. Now I think it's time to take on that quartz factory. So it's not that we have high demand for quartz. We do need some silica, need some quartz crystal to get things started. We're definitely going to need more as we get into aluminum, and presents an interesting challenge, right? So as we said, when we build a factory, when we're on a resource node, we want to produce as much locally as we can and then train back. The idea there, of course, with that principle was that we're bringing back less. Well, in the case of silica, we actually produce more than we bring back if we just brought back the raw quartz. So for that case, we will bring back raw quartz on the train just to reduce the number of items we have to bring in and sort, save space on our belts, and then we'll produce the silica here back in our main factory. In the end, we'll probably bring that out to wherever our aluminum factory is going to be. Whether we train that out or we end up just running the raw quartz directly there, I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see when we get to building that factory. But for now, let's head on out to where our quartz node is. We had put a train station there. I've moved it down and got a little grid laid out for us, so I think we should be ready to start building, and actually once we get the factory in place, we should be ready to have the train bring it on back for us right away. So in pretty good shape, I think, for this part of the build. I've been running around a little bit looking for caves, collecting mycelia, getting some other MAM research pieces going. I don't think I'm going to show those, not at least in this first season. Don't want to spoil some of your own exploration. A lot of good caves around this area, so definitely take the time to look for that. Also start to think about alternate recipes. I'm not using any yet. I have found a few drives from crash sites and research those. At some point we'll get into using alternate recipes, but for now I'd rather stay with the vanilla recipes until we get a little further along in the game. And maybe we'll go this whole season with just vanilla. We'll have to see. So it looks like we've had some friends move in on our platform here, so we're going to have to take care of them. Looks like he might just be a little guy, so let's see what we can do here. Ooh, ouch. Takes care of him. I think I saw another one. He might have went over the edge. I don't see anybody else, so I think we're good. So this is our train station, Crystal Gateway. Train is not running this route yet, but we'll certainly set that up. Got a little cleanup to do on some foundations over there. This is our grid. I think it's actually a little bigger than we need. All we really are going to need are some constructors. We're going to put our miner down on our node there, run the resources up this ramp into our factory. So as always, let's take a look at our calculator and see what we need to build. Alright, so taking a look at Satisfactory tools. Again, don't have high demand for quartz yet. I know we're going to need to, so this is something we need to do. So my first thought was, well, let's just kind of maximize the node, need some quartz crystal and silica, and we'll just split it. But this is where we notice that problem, right? So 500 silica per minute from 300 raw quartz. So I'd be moving 500 of something instead of 300. So it doesn't make sense to process this nearby and then move it because we're moving more. So in this case, we're really going to focus on getting our 180 quartz crystal here, because that does reduce the amount, and then we'll bring some amount of raw quartz. I don't think we're going to bring the full 300 because we don't have that kind of demand right now, back to our main base. At some point, again, I think we'll probably run this to wherever our aluminum factory is going to be. But this should get us a good start, get some things flowing so we can start to get some of those next pieces needed for the space elevator and for the next rounds of research. Let's get building. So we're going to start with our shell. So let's put the back of our factory here. Oop. That would have been bad. Let's see. We need to get some power over here so we don't fall off the edge to our death. Make sure we're lined up. Yep, that looks good. Let's get our other side. Let's get our sides going here. This is the right. Like walking and chewing bubblegum. I can't talk and build at the same time. So again, alright, there's that. Let's switch over to our jetpack just in case we don't have power here. And then, like I said, because we just have the 8 constructors to go in here, we really need to just put the front on this, and I mean, this is it for this factory to start. That could change as we actually get into some products that have a higher demand, but for where we are right now, this will be plenty. Like I said, this is really all we're going to have in here, so it gets to take up the whole building. Now, that's kind of unfortunate. So if we do put this in, while it fits barely, we're going to block our doorway with part of these frames. I think I don't really want to make this a lot bigger just to accommodate constructors. So we might take off this bottom frame. Let's see how it looks outside. No, that looks bad. So I came forward 1 4-meter slot. Let's see how that looks. So let's lay constructors in again. Try to get it off the door a little bit. Right about there, I think. Allows us to come in the door, walk around. Got plenty of room on this side. Plenty of room on this side. Are we centered? Not quite, pretty close. Not quite. We'll leave a little more room here since we're going to have to bring, actually we're going to leave more room on this side because this is where we're bringing stuff in and ultimately bringing it out. So we're going to have to put some holes in. So let's bring us over against this wall here. That should do. Let's see, so copy paste. It's a nice feature in this game. So copying the settings and then just running around and pasting them. It's a little bit faster than clicking on each one and actually selecting the recipe. So do recommend you do that. You may want to map it to your mouse button so you get away from the whole Control-C, Control-V dance, though that doesn't bother me too much. Let's get oh, let's see. Yeah, ironically, we needed some silica as we're building this factory, so we put down a quick workshop, crank that out for us. Let's get our miner. we're going to bring it out this way and then loop back around. Yeah, let's see. And we are cranking 240. I had 600 in our planner, but we know that we really don't need that because we're not going to make all that silica here. So if we do the 300 to get the 180 quartz crystal, plus we would need to do a little bit more. So we'll have to overclock this. Didn't bring any power shards with me. We'll have to come back and take care of that another time. No big deal for right now. Since we know we're going to be running a little bit more. And then, like I said, we're going to want to bring some, but I think we'll do that. Actually, we'll do it inside. We'll do it as an overflow. So when we're more than the factory can handle. So we'll use a smart splitter. And we'll set the left output to overflow. So now, when we have extra, bring it out this way. Yeah, I think that should do nicely. Quartz crystal coming out. We'll have raw quartz over there on this side. These are wrong because it's normally where I would bring things in, so we'll redo those. Yeah, I think that pretty much has this factory running. Like I said, we'll finish up the shell. We'll get things overclocked. We'll get the train running here to pick things up. That should do it. So hopefully we'll have quartz. We'll bring that back to our main base. For now, the quartz crystal and some raw quartz. We'll be able to make some silica. I've been doing a lot of exploring, and as I've been out there, I've started to notice things are getting more and more dangerous. That's not to say that every creature here is a hazard to my health, but certainly some of them are. Take for example my good friend Boom Boom here. He's nice, friendly, even finds some things from me from time to time. But if you're responsible for this, or this, or this, then it's go time. Now before we head out there, we're probably going to need to gear up again. I've been using my electric cattle prod and my electric kendo stick just to, move the creatures when I need to. Try to be polite, only get ugly when it's necessary. But it's clear that's not going to be enough. Ada has provided me with explosives, which, as a good engineer, I've been using just to get into caves and clear debris from nodes and things like that. I could use it for other things, and that's what we're about to do. I've also noticed Ada has provided me a weapon and ammunition. Now, I thought that might be for food, but it's clear it's for discipline. So first things, we need to get out and get some sulfur, and we're going to merge that together with some coal, make some black powder. Then we'll take that over and refine it further into some smokeless black powder. And then finally, we're going to turn this into ammunition for our gun, and then we're headed out. It's commando time, baby. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed Commando Time. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to tune in for the next one, where we'll be making some choices on aluminum and taking a look at our power situation. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.